Welcome back to the channel, everybody. This is Chris's Collectible Corner, and for those of you who are new, thank you for coming through to tune in for this review. And today, we're taking a look at the Storm Arena Street Fighter Alpha 3 Ryu. But before we get into the figure itself, if you wouldn't mind, please like the video and subscribe to the channel. Hit the bell notification to be notified when new reviews are uploaded to the channel. It really helps and I appreciate the support. Now, that aside, taking a look at the packaging, as you can see along the side we have an illustration of Ryu as he appeared in the Street Fighter Alpha video game when you select him from the character screen. And then on the back, we have the Storm Collectibles logo, as well as some images of the figure and some of the poses that you could put him in. Then here we have the same thing repeated on the other side, and then here on the front we have the stamina bar at the bottom of the Street Fighter Alpha 3 logo, the ism of which fighting style you want to choose with him, and a window up front showcasing the character. Not sure if you're able to see that because of the plastic, but the backdrop is actually Ryu's stage from the game. Overall, it's a nice simple packaging. I like all the nods to the video game with the borders and the little highlights announcing the winner's name. These additions really bring the whole thing together and hits that nostalgia button. But let's open him up and get this guy out the box. And here we have him, sitting straight up and down, no crazy poses. This is the Storm Arena 1/12 scale Ryu from Street Fighter Alpha 3. And he stands at exactly 6 inches. And man, he looks like he just hopped right out the video game. The aesthetics, they knocked this out the park. It looks just like him. But before we zero in on some of the details, just looking at the overall aesthetic and scope of him, he looks accurate to the game with the build and muscle definition. But once again, this is an exact same mold of the Ken figure just for Ryu. And why not? It makes sense. If it ain't broke, why fix it? The Ken one was spot on, and this Ryu one is spot on as well. Now, the major differences obviously between him and Ken is that Ryu has the white gi and the red gloves. But looking at some of the finer details, as you can see on the gi itself, there's a nice little like knitted pattern on it just to kind of make it look more like a cloth and not just like molded plastic, which I really appreciate. The subtle shading on the gi around the folds of the legs, as well as the upper torso and along the back of the figure. And I'm not sure if it's the lighting, but it seems like the muscles have some slight shading, very little. It's very hard to tell, but it looks good. You can even see they molded some veins on the biceps and shoulders, which is crazy, as well as on the forearms. I mean, they didn't have to go that hard, but they did. And I really like the color of the gi. It's not like a bright white or like a bluish white where it kind of has like a blue tint to it. No, it's a very soft, subtle white with some gray tones to it because of the shading, and I think it looks really nice and complements the figure very well. But what I want to give special attention to is the head sculpt. So now let's take a look at that. And man, they knocked this out of the park. He looks like he was ripped straight out the video game. The nose shape, the face shape, everything. They even got the eyebrows going above the headband. I mean, man, Storm Arena killed it with this head sculpt. It looks just like Ryu, and for me, this is my definitive Ryu. This is how I always pictured Ryu, but I grew up playing these games in X-Men vs. Street Fighter and Marvel vs. Capcom, and the sprites of those characters they used in all of those games. So for me, this is my definitive Ryu. And you know what's crazy that I actually found out from my cousin is that Capcom has actually actively been trying to get rid of Ryu as the main character and bring in other characters. But I know there's just something about Ryu's super simple character design that I think is so iconic. And honestly, I don't want anyone else but him to be the face of the franchise. I feel like Ryu encapsulates Street Fighter perfectly. He is always on the quest, trying to get stronger and better himself. That's why everyone's trying to test themselves against him. But enough about the details, let's take a look at some of the accessories that he comes with. Alright, so in the box he actually comes with a figure stand, which I appreciate because nowadays a lot of figures don't come with these and they're actually more expensive than these figures. So just in case you're a little confused, the long plastic piece that's on the left, that's a different variation of what you can use to pose him with. So that one's all clear, and then you can unhook that piece and use the black metal shape as well as an alternative, and I guess it blends in better with the belt around his waist. And the circular piece is obviously the base for the stand, but you can also use it with these 3 segmented pieces that I have here on the right side to attach Ryu's Hadouken, and I'll show you guys that in a little bit. As for his other accessories, as I was saying, you can see Ryu has his Hadouken, Ken had his fire uppercut, so I feel like this complements Ryu perfectly. Then we have his Hadouken hands, which you're gonna need if he's gonna shoot a Hadouken, and then Ryu with a teeth gritted expression, and then an additional piece for his headband. I guess just in case you lose the first one, I don't really see that much of a difference between this and the one that already comes attached to the figure. So combining all the accessories together, the teeth gritted face, the Hadouken hands, the Hadouken, the 3 segmented pieces in the base, you can pose him shooting a Hadouken. I didn't line it up perfectly, but I know it does work. Maybe I put him a little too low, but you just have to mess around with it and you can line it up perfectly. And then as for the stand, as you can see, you can use this if you want to have him throwing his dragon uppercut or doing the tornado kick. And this is a really nice stand. It's not like the flimsy, bougie ones that we get from Tamashi. These are actually way better. Alright, let's take a look at Ryu's articulation. I'm assuming it's going to be pretty similar to Ken because they're literally the same mold. The only difference is really the head sculpt. So, speaking of that, let's start with the head. So, he can look down about that much. And unlike Ken, because he doesn't have the long ponytail, it just has the bandana, he can look up fairly well. Very nice. Side to side tilt. There we go with that. Rotation's good. Bandana's on a little ball joint, so you can move that around if you want. Have it in different angles. Just be careful, because it can pop out. Alright, that aside, whoa, his neck looks crazy. Let's fix that. Alright, so now start with the arms. You can do the T-pose exactly 90 degrees, no higher. That's fine. Bicep rotation. There we go. Elbow bend. There we go. And since he's so eager to show us, there you go. Shoulder rotation. That's also good. Now, let's see. Waist articulation. Because he has the gi on, I'm sure it's going to be kind of limited, so... Oh, see? That just popped off. Nope, even with the gi on, he can still bend over a really good amount. So we got that. How far can I lean back? Can lean back that far. And we already know he can do more when you take off the gi, but I don't feel like dealing with all that. I did it with Ken, but there you go, side to side, and he can rotate all the way around 360. Now, since we have his arms up, let's keep them up. Let's go with the legs. There you go. He can kick straight up. Can do the splits. No problem. So there we go with that. Right here, we got the cut for the thigh rotation. There you go. And then knee bend. Very good. I mean, the knee's kind of ugly, but once again, for 35 bucks, what you're getting, you can't beat it. I'm not going to complain about that. Same here. Alright. And then ankle articulation is great. You can bend all the way in. Bend all the way out. So you're not going to have a hard time balancing him. Bend up that far. Can come down all the way. Plus, he has the toe hinge. So yeah, this guy's articulation is great. I'm gonna pop this back in. There we go. And yeah, as to be expected, just like we saw with the Ken, this guy's articulation is great. He feels sturdy, does not feel cheap. He feels nice and hefty. They're just a good material, good plastic. So yeah, articulation, A1. Now for some comparisons, here we have him with his partner in crime, Ken, from the same line, and look, these two look amazing together. They look great, and as the first two figures of this line for Storm Arena, man, they are coming out swinging, because these guys are freaking great. Now for the next comparison, I think a fantasy match we all had when we were younger is Ryu with Goku. And I think these look great together too, man. So if you definitely want to do some crossovers and have Ryu fighting Goku, I feel like these scale really nicely to each other. And speaking of crossovers, here we have the Storm Arena Ryu with the Threezero MDLX Mega Man X, and I think these are great as well. And if you're talking about crossovers, of course, you can't have Ryu without his boy, Cyclops. I mean, these two look great together. This Cyclops is from Mafex, and I think it complements his Ryu nicely. Alright guys, so that was my review on the Storm Arena Street Fighter Alpha 3 Ryu. I got mine off of Toy Arena. He came out to about $35 after shipping and taxes. He's no longer in stock on that website. He sold out immediately, but he's still up for pre-order on Big Bad Toy Store. So if you want, I'll leave a link in the description in case you're interested in picking this guy up. That all aside, yeah, if you couldn't tell, I love this figure. As much as I like the Ken, I love Ryu just as much. I mean, it's a similar build, similar figure, but Ryu is iconic. He is the face of Street Fighter. Whether you want to replace him or not, it's Ryu, bro. So yeah, from the accessories, the build, the articulation, the face sculpt, even the fact that this came with a stand with 2 different variations for it, plus the price at $25, you cannot beat this. You have to pick this up. You are doing yourself a disservice if you do not get this figure. Storm Arena is killing it, and with the first 2 from this line, they are coming out swinging. As you guys know, I usually like to use the Dragon Radar and the Dragon Balls from a scale from 1 to 7 to rate these guys, and I'm giving this guy an easy 7. Pick him up. If you find him, get him, because he's gonna go quickly. I'm not sure if they're gonna do a reissue. Maybe they will, depending on how well the line does. But I'm telling you guys now, get this figure while you can, because like I said in my Ken review, I feel like the price that they're selling these at is a mistake. And before they realize it and raise the prices on these, and you had to buy them at like $35 or $45, which is still good, get it now while it's 25 bucks. But you guys let me know in the comment section below, what are your thoughts on the figure? I'm curious to see, are you going to pick them up? Do you like them, or do you prefer the Jada Toy versions instead? Because I also know that Jada Toys also recently announced that they're also going to do their version of the Street Fighter Alpha 3 characters. So if you're a Street Fighter collector, what a time to be alive. With that said, I hope you guys found this review informative. Make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that bell notification to be notified when new reviews are uploaded to the channel. Thank you for stopping by my corner of the internet, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.